How to coach pitching, part number 1. Dugout Captain series on making you the pitching coach to teach fundamentals. And whether this is individual, you working with your son or daughter, working with your athlete or your team in a practice format, we're going to provide you a step-by-step plan to teach the pitching fundamentals. This first segment focuses on the stance and the balance point. That's parts 0 and 1. To get started, bring your athlete up to the mound and discuss the overall plan. We want to make sure that the coach and the athlete are on the same page and that common language is established and understood. We've got a simple number system we're going to follow. Stance, balance, power, finish. As they lift their leg, reach back, and let it rip, always aggressive, we got to make sure that those keywords are understood. Assuming that's understood, you got to get the athlete hot, meaning fully warm, and move into rules. The first thing we're going to teach is the stance. As you move into instruction, walk back out to the athlete at the mound and let's establish a stance and a balance point. Position 0 and position 1. Stance. 3 keywords: feet, hands, eyes. Hey, come set, check your feet parallel underneath your armpits like a pair of skis. Check your hands high in front of the chest, a little bit of space, comfortable. And check your eyes. On target, locking in focus. Remember, feet, hands, eyes. Keep it simple. Move into balance point. There's 3 keywords to balance. You're going to come set, feet, hands, eyes, and lift your leg. Knee up, foot out, toe down. And as long as we follow the rules, look for those DC keys, posture tall, no leaning back, smooth leg lift, we've established stance and balance point. And we've got to get into repetitions. You've got to start with a freeze at 1. This means you're in charge. Keep the glove down and ask your athlete to execute. Up, give me a balance point, give me a leg lift, and let's check. Adjust your knee, kick your foot out, make sure your posture's tall, young man. Flash the glove, get a fastball. You got to do 5, 6, 7 freeze at 1s where you're in charge before you can move on. Second part of repetitions is let the athlete lead. So still freezing at 1 to make sure they really feel that balance point, but they're doing it on their own. You can keep the glove up and encourage them to come up, count to 3 seconds, and unleash a fastball. All the while having a bit of feel how much help the athlete needs. 1, 2, 3. Ha! Great job. Come set. The third step to repetitions is application. So you're going to finish with no stop repetitions. The glove is up, you're checking for proper stance and proper balance point fundamentals. Check eyes, smooth and drive. Beautiful. DC key number 1, the chair or the letter H. A good keyword for understanding the balance point is to think of a chair or the letter H. Use it to help that young athlete understand the position he's trying to get to. DC key number 2, posture tall. When I'm working with an athlete, I always use my hand to show where that body is leaning. Keep the posture tall as you go through the leg lift. If they're staying tall, zip it. Don't say anything about it. If you see a lean or a hunch, you got to work to keep the posture tall. DC key number 3, glove up, glove down. What are you doing with the glove? Well, my glove is down until I'm ready for you to throw the pitch. So as you work and get comfortable with your teaching method, I recommend the glove is down. I'm waiting for something. I'm waiting for you to show me a leg lift. I'm waiting for you to show me the proper stance. When you get the target, it's time to fire. The final DC key is homework. If you can get your athletes to work in between sessions, whether that's one-on-one, your own athlete working at home, good luck with that, or that's your team players trying to get some buy-in and help from their parents at home, assign homework. After this first session, turn sideways, get in front of a mirror, get up to a balance point. Hold for 3 seconds and check yourself, dude. Check yourself. Pitcher, check in the athlete. Is your knee up? Is your foot out? Is your toe down? Hold for a couple seconds and finish the pitch. Try and get your athlete to do that every day, even if it's 5, 10, 15 reps. Homework is huge in learning and retaining pitching mechanics. A real fun challenge to working with pitchers is keeping a feel for how much instruction the athlete needs. In this part 1 of how to coach pitching, we've got to make sure the athlete has an understanding of the motion, can take the mound correctly, stance, and executes a proper leg lift. That might be 6 or 7 pitches for one athlete. It might be 25 or 30 pitches for another athlete. Keep in mind that a big part here is getting the athlete 15 to 25 pitches, getting them a bullpen. If you can leave checking off the box of stance and balance point, you've done your job in this first segment and you can build. Play hard. Have fun. How to coach pitching, part number 2. So part number 1, we established the balance point, the stance and the balance point. This second segment, we're going to establish the finish with the idea that if we can have strength and balance early and late, then we can work in between. That's power. That'll be part number 3. Always encouraging our athletes to be aggressive, throw without fear, let it rip. We're going to establish the finish position. First things first, let's meet at the mound and let's discuss. Let's review the stance and the leg lift. Feet, hands, eyes on the stance, leg lift, knee up, foot out, toe down. Let's talk through and establish those key points and go into live pitches. Making sure the athlete is hot, let's review position number 1. We've got to do a freeze at 1. And remember, glove is down. I'm saying up to balance point, looking for the knee up, the foot out, the toe down, staying tall, flashing the glove and getting fastballs. 3, 4, 5 reps, and it's time to teach new. We've got to add the rules to the finish. First, let's teach the finish, then let's walk through how we would do that live during repetitions. So there's 4 coaching keywords: point, click, shield, sword. Point. For the right-handed pitcher, that's our left foot. The left foot points directly towards target and bears the body weight. Click. Point and click. This is a technology generation. They know point and click. Left foot points, right foot clicks. The knee is turned in, that right foot is up on the toe to shift the weight over to that left leg. Point, click. Shield. That's the glove. The glove acts like a shield in front of the body, and the sword into the ground. Flat back finish. So to understand that point, click, shield, sword, those are easy to remember coaching keywords. And as we move into repetitions, we're going to have to hold the finish and then adjust piece by piece in that order so the athlete understands and feels what the finish position is supposed to feel like. As you move into repetitions, start with a freeze at 1 and a freeze at 3. So that means as you dictate the pace, the glove is down, and you're asking the athlete to execute. Stance, check feet, hands, eyes. Up, balance point, looking for the knee up, the foot out, the toe hanging down, whatever needs to be corrected. And fire, 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 fire. Finish, freeze. And we're holding 1 and 3. And the first several repetitions, you probably have to walk out and walk through the finish fundamentals. Point, click, shield, sword. In order as the athletes feel and understand. Left foot, right foot, glove, flat back, finish. The next step we'll do is eliminating that freeze at 1 and throwing full pitches and checking finish. We call that a freeze at 3. So it's just finish. And let's walk through specifically one more time correcting that finish. Athletes on a freeze at 3, meaning check your stance, feet, hands, eyes. I'm giving you the glove and you let it rip. Hopefully we see a good balance point and an aggressive fastball, no fear, no concern with where the ball is going. Follow through, then we'll check finish. Say freeze, and I'll get up off my bucket, walk out, and let's go through in order. Take your left foot, point it to target. That's point. Take your right foot straight across, turn that knee in, get up on the toe to shift the weight. That's click. Shield. Take that glove that's probably behind their arm or flailed sideways, get it in front of the chest, relax with a little bit of space. That's shield. Take that throwing arm, cross opposite knee, flat back finish. That's sword. It's going to take some time growing comfortable, and especially these first couple repetitions, walk out each time and go through the finish together. The last step is going to be no stop, finishing on their own, making sure that the athlete never focuses on being perfect Rather, he reviews the finish after being aggressive. We're always making sure that there's no fear or no over-analyzing as we unleash and checking finish after release. DC key number 1, anchor the left foot. Wherever the athlete finishes, the left foot can't move. Simply point it to target, move the body back over the left foot, and build from there. DC key number 2, right foot up on toe. Taking that right foot, turning it in, coming up on the toe encourages the weight to move back to that landing leg, to post firmly and bear the body weight. Right foot up on toe. DC key number 3, throw first, check the finish second. Stay aggressive, pitch without fear. This goes back to our overall philosophy. Must throw hard. If you see an athlete thinking too much and all of a sudden spiking a 25-foot fastball, that focus is off of staying aggressive and has moved to the finish. It's throw first, check finish second. DC key number 4, bite your tongue. It's a great challenge to know when to teach what. And sometimes we gotta bite our tongue and let something about arm action or head movement slide for a while. You're getting to the nitty and gritty next. We gotta make sure that the athlete layers fundamentally. And if you can keep it simple and layer those fundamentals, you put your athlete in a chance to have success. He may not be perfect now and execute everything correctly, but if you follow the plan, you're maximizing the chance for long-term growth and development. Have fun, play hard. How to coach pitching, part 3. We're moving into the power phase, and it's exciting as we add emphasis on the legs and velocity to the fastball. Let's first step back and review that coaching plan. We've established with the athlete stance and balance early, and we've coached and instructed the finish and balance late. So we've got our anchor points, and it's time to come together in the middle and coach and teach the power position. We're going to get started by getting hot. The athlete's going to throw 5, 6, 7 fastballs so you feel you're ready to start adding more instruction. And again, we'll start with review. First, position number 1, balance. And do a freeze drill at 1. Glove is down, leg lift up, look for mechanical adjustments, flash the glove, throw it hard. Atta boy. Can't go wrong as long as you let it rip, okay? Couple repetitions and add that finish. Hold. Now we're doing a 13, balance and finish. Glove down, up, check for the leg lift fundamentals, flash the glove, freeze, hold the finish, point, click, shield, sword. Work through those finish instructions. Now you're going no stop, check and finish, and it's time to coach. We're gonna add details to position number 2, power. Moving into the power position, let's first walk around the body to talk details, then let's talk about application. So what are we looking for? Head back to the mound and get the athlete to feel and hold the loaded power position. 4 pieces. The front foot is out. I'm closed where the side of my shoe faces home plate, and I'm up on that toe so my weight loads back. Glove arm, extended, reach. Get it out there. Throwing hand, this is that cobra, ball points away, ball to the wall, extended, glove and hand. The 4th piece, the most important, weight back or load. And again, tie this back to the last segment. When I come up on the toe, I'm encouraging the athlete to shift that weight to the back leg. Here's a keyword, make a big X, load the back leg, come up on the front toe. Now we need to apply those. So on the mound, without a baseball, we're gonna do a freeze at 2. Come set, balance, and power. And walk around the body correcting those positions. Glove arm big, throwing hand high away, front foot closed, up on toe, weight is back. You've got your position number 2. Go, go, go. Now head back to home plate and it's time for the freeze at 2. Glove is down and you're appropriately walking through the steps. Stance, balance, power, freeze. Check the loaded power position, get that weight back, make any adjustments you need to, flash the glove, rock back a little bit, and let it rip. Drive, drive, drive. And the last thing we're gonna finish with is that application. No stopping, hold finish, so freeze at 3, but let's involve a physical power position. And that means we've got to have a load and explode. We really want to feel the back leg work, leaving our balance point, getting into power before we explode towards home plate. Woohoo! DC key number 1, load. Loading the back leg is the key to pitching success, in my opinion. The true goal is to build power and take control of the delivery. And that starts as the athlete leaves the balance point and starts to generate explosive power off that back leg. It also means that they never give up control. They're never falling towards home plate, drifting, trailing with the arm. Load, load, load. DC key number 2. Rock back and fire. We always want to put a bit of a reload from that frozen position. We never want to get to a freeze and continue towards home plate. Encourage your athlete to reload, engage the leg even a bit more, feeling that power before you continue and explode off the backside. DC key number 3, load, then explode. When you move from freeze at 2 into no stopping, it's okay to really exaggerate the physicality of the legs. There's 2 parts to the delivery, the load phase and the explode phase. So allow your athlete to exaggerate, feel a load and then an explode. You really want the athlete to swing to the exaggerated side to involve the legs and get physical. As we put emphasis in the legs around the load and the explode, we're getting more power, more weight, more velocity coming down that mound. What's that going to do to the finish? That's going to make the finish harder. But we want to celebrate that challenge because that means there's more opportunity and more power to throw harder. I like to say this, it's hard to throw hard. Instruction is really shifting to physicality. We've got anchor points of strength and balance. Now we're moving into the nitty-gritty where power is produced. That's going to make the entire motion more difficult to execute. But this is a good thing and we want to celebrate that challenge. Have fun, play hard. How to coach pitchers, session number 4. The clear expectations for session 4 is that your athlete can understand, almost could pass a test about 5 key pitching points: balance, power, finish, distance, and direction. We're going to review 1, 2, and 3. We're going to build off what's already been instructed. And session number 4 is a really exciting time. It's a time to transition from positions to movement. What we're going to teach this session is distance and direction. And these 2 points are measurables, meaning we can measure how far we go down the mound and in which direction, which way we go. First, we got to get hot. Play catch, any throwing program you're going to go through, and get on the mound. Let's let the athlete throw fastballs, get to full hot, you're ready to go, and move into review. A review is going to follow the same structure of our first 3 lessons. Balance, so freeze at 1. Move to the finish, freeze at 3, and come back to power, freeze at 2. When you're ready for new instruction, you're going to say freeze and hold the finish. Up off your bucket, walk out to the mound, and mark the front foot. Mark the stride. How far was it and in what direction? And put a marker. I use cones, but you could use really anything, a rock, a leaf, to mark where the front foot is. Next step. Step back, take a look at the existing stride, and now we're going to measure and mark the goal. That goal is going to be a straight line from the pitcher's back foot towards home plate. So the direction is straight. Hey, you start here, finish here. And that distance marker is going to be equal to the athlete height. And boom. So that's about 4 1/4, would you say? 4.25 steps. You know what your goal is?
What?
5.5. I've done this so many times, it comes down to 5.5, sometimes 6 as you get older. 6 of your step, because it's relative to height. We want the stride length to be body height. So if I could draw lines on my mound, I'd have a T straight down the mound and across at the desired distance. Now, to finish, I'll go through freeze at 2 to 3. Go, go. Where I'm directly measuring, directly comparing the stride length to the goal. How'd your front foot do? Good. What distance are we trying to get to? So we want the athlete to take a look at it. Hey, here's where you used to stride. Here's the goal where we want to get. And take a look at that as we continue to do freeze drills 2 to 3. Much better. We got about halfway to the cone. The last step's got to be full repetitions. So we've got to go no stopping. And this is something they're going to work on for several lessons, actually for several years, being more physical and increasing our drive down the mound and now trying to focus that drive straight to target. As they go no stopping and finish the lesson, they can compare consistently to that goal cone and feel the increased physicality. You should see more velocity, and that's going to wrap up your lesson. Oh my goodness. DC key number 1, throw hard. When you're doing a freeze at 2 and you're doing a freeze at 3, you're holding finish and you're looking down and you're trying to stride farther, you're going to be all over the place. Your accuracy is going to take a hit. You can't stop throwing hard. So give your athlete a couple repetitions to be wild. Make sure he continues to throw hard through that adjustment period. That may last 1 pitch or 50 pitches. One thing never changes though, we're always going to throw hard. DC key number 2, 5.5 steps. The desired distance goal is about equal to the athlete height. It's 5.5 steps of their feet. The older you get, the closer to 6 steps it becomes, but that 5.5 steps is a great outdoor ballpark, I don't have a tape measure handy guide to get a distance goal roughly equal to the athlete height. DC key number 3 is my favorite homework drill. 1, 2, 1, 3. This movement is balance, out to power, back to balance, and now all the way through to finish. It really helps the athletes feel the load out to the power position and also the reload, moving backwards back up to balance point. They start to really lock in and feel their body working. And that's the shift we're making in session number 4, is becoming more physical. Shift your thought as a coach to movements. Get my athlete comfortable loading and building power and exploding and transferring power. Individual instruction really takes over from here. We've scripted a suggested path for these first 4 sessions to make sure the athlete understands the positions of balance, power, finish, and now the measurables of distance and direction. And the challenge now falls to you is, what does your athlete need and where can the instruction go from here? Play hard, have fun.